We've all seen signs like this around the UK, around Europe and around the world. Most of us pass them by every day without even giving them a second glance. But what does it mean to be twinned with another town or city? How did it all start? And why are they nearly always German?
You'd be right to think that the concept of war was the main catalyst behind these unions. Certainly in Roman times this was the case, with neighbouring states combining forces to ward off the threat from hostile towns also in the vicinity. In the last 50 years though, these links have been forged in the hope to never recreate the destructiveness of the Second World War. There are examples of town twinning as far back as the year 836, when the relics of a 4th century priest by the name of Saint Laborius were transported from Le Mans, France, where he was a bishop, to Paderborn, Germany, and the two towns were then forever linked by one man.
The first official town twinning was formed in 1944, when 900 women from Coventry embroidered their names on a tablecloth and sent it to the women of Stalingrad, who were under siege from the Germans at the time. As a result, Coventry is unofficially the world's premier twin town, linked with no less than 26 cities around the globe.
The biggest introduction came after World War II. In 1947, 5 citizens from Bristol travelled to Hanover on a goodwill mission. Confronted by a city in ruins and short on food and water, they found themselves in the position of emoting sympathy towards a people that 2 years previously were the enemy. On their return, they vowed to send rations, and out of this trip, the two cities were officially united. Events like this occurred regularly, and town twinning spread, the aim being to try and fix links in Europe that had been broken by the war, pairing cities with political or geographical similarities in order to strengthen cultural links across the continent. It was a way to bring Europeans together again after the tumultuous 6 years that had preceded.
A lot of the time, twin cities share similar characteristics. Coventry and Dresden were paired as an act of reconciliation between two cities that were bombed heavily during the war. University towns such as Cambridge and Heidelberg were twinned. Porto in Portugal, where Port is from, is twinned with Bristol here in the UK because that's where the port was shipped to. Monza in Italy and Indianapolis in the US, they're twinned because of their shared love of motorsport, although in the US they use the term sister cities after a twinning program was introduced by President Eisenhower in the 50s.
The fall of the Iron Curtain in the late 80s saw a spurt of further links being created, and in a sense, it was the beginning of the modern European Union as we know it. Today, the EU spends upwards of €10 million a year on new and existing projects, and there are over 30,000 twinning relationships in Europe alone. The benefits today have evolved slightly, as these friendships are used to develop business methods, educational programs for youngsters, and cultural attractions to bring Europe closer together. In today's world, this process cannot be underestimated. Pairing Washington with Islamabad, London with Baghdad, or Sydney with Kabul won't solve the world's problems overnight, but as history has shown, it might be a start. The trouble is, it needs to be instigated from both sides during times of peace.